Hi. Hi, everyone. My name is Zhao Sheng, and I'm from Wee Studio. Our practice is based in Beijing, China. It's really good to be here today, and I'm also happy to see some old friends here, and I promise there's something new this time. So my title is From the Treehouse to Hotel. I will start with the background. The site is located right on the borderline of Beijing, and it's still in Beijing, but it's far away enough to get rid of the air pollution in Beijing. There's a mountain called Mount Wuling, and if you climb into the mountain, you will find a fragment of the ancient Great Wall. And at the foot of the mountain, there's a beautiful village called Garden Village. So this village actually has a lot of typical northern Chinese courtyard house, but since the young people in the village, they move to the big cities for a better life. So a lot of houses, they're abandoned. In 2016, we rent 3 courtyard houses, and we decided to turn it into a hotel. So we reinforced the structure. We made additions on back of the houses for program of kitchen and shower rooms. This is the interior. It's fully renovated. We were trying to use the language of material and reconstruct the traditional spirit of living memory into a new hotel lifestyle. During the construction, we find behind the hotel, there's a secret place with a lot of plants next to the cliff. And we were attracted by the idea of building a treehouse as a featured guest room here. So this is the site plan. We can see the treehouse is located next to the stream as an extension of the hotel. They're in the scale of rooms, so they share the facilities like restaurants and kitchen with the courtyard hotel part. This is the site section. We can see compared with the public of the courtyard house. The treehouse is much more private. It's protected by the trees, and it's located on a little bit lower level on the slope. So if you live in a courtyard house, it's kind of hard to see there's a treehouse. The initial idea is to try to interact with the trees, and we start from simple sketches. In the end, the result is 2 cabin seems randomly inserted into the trees. And from the front, it's floating. However, from the back, there's a deck connect the 2 cabins to a rock. Here's the rock. So the shape of the volumes are irregular cubes with pitched roofs extruded from the wall. And it is interesting because this kind of irregular shape has different appearance from different angles. Sometimes big, sometimes small. And if you put 2 cubes together, it's even more interesting. Sometimes there are 2 similar scale houses, and from some angles, there's one big, one small. And even sometimes, one of the cabin disappeared. So we test this change of scales in the model with trees, and we find from the front, the 2 cabins as a whole gather together, and from the back, they sort of spread out and enclose an outdoor space with the trees. This is the floor plan. So we have 3 parts. The bigger one is tea room, and when there's a guest here, it can be turned into the bedroom. And this is the shower room, and there's a deck connect the 3 of them. So we can see from this plan, the section of the trees are critical to our design. We think they are part of the plan. Actually, we carefully measured the size and locations on different height of the trees. We think, and we put the cabins according to the locations of the trees, and we think it's important because together with the trees, they define the outdoor space. So this is a section of the tea house. We can see it's open towards the cliff and stream, while it's closed towards the courtyard. while the shower room is enclosed on both sides. So if you're a guest, the first you will find of the treehouse is two similar connected cubes. And then if you walk closer by the stream, they sort of spread it out, and you find there's something interesting happening inside of it. Now you find the entrance of the cabin, and one of the tea house is partly blocked by the shower room, and it squeezed out a way to the inside of the tree house. And actually, there's a very subtle gap in between the two volumes, and so far, you still cannot find the entrance of the shower room. But actually, if you stand on the entrance of the tea house, you can see the door of the shower room. So the two carved out outdoor space, they connect together and form an inner circulation. The idea is that if you're a guest of this tree house, you're the only one who knows the way to the shower room. So with this strategy, we keep the openness of the tree house in the landscape, while we also keep the privacy of the circulation. From the front, suddenly the interior of the tree house is revealed in front of you. And if you turn a little bit further, there's only one cabin, another one is sort of disappear. So there's an old saying in China, which is small as the sparrow is, it possesses all its internal organs, which used to describe something small but complete. I'm sorry, it's a picture of the pigeon. It's kind of hard to find a dissection picture of a sparrow, and it's not discussing from internet. So the concept is living small. This is the section of the tea house and bedroom. So we are trying to minimize all the furnitures and make them as part of the building. So the curtains, the light, they are all part of the building. They are embedded into the wall. And the inside of the tea house, we don't want anything to disturb you enjoying the beautiful view of the nature. And the frames of the window are hidden outside. And the shower room, we have a full system of water distribution and plumbing system. And through this thickened deck, we are trying to organize all the pipes and get them out from the volume through one single point. And we are trying to, by doing this, we are trying to make the bottom of the platform as clean as possible. And we are trying to take advantage of all the corners. We customize the light, the switch, we customize the washing basin. So by doing this, we turn these negative corners into opportunity to interact with the building. And we have a skylight for each of the cabin. And the light filters through the branches. And by doing this, we introduce the sense of time into the cabin. So if you lie down on the floor, this is a quite small space, but the perspective of the skylight and the inner edge of the pitch roofs enlarge the space. You don't really feel you're in a really small space if you see this view. So the experience living in the treehouse is about to blur the boundary between interior and exterior, and you feel like you are part of the nature. So the house consists of the steel structure, which sit on the shared foundation of the light concrete base and a rock that is too huge that we cannot dig out from the side. And we also prefabricate the steel structure in factory to guarantee the precision of the geometry. We assemble the steel structure on site, and then we add layers of insulation and waterproof. The result is kind of fit with the context. It's something newly built, but it seems it has been sit there for a long time. Mainly because we studied the cladding system carefully. So we went to, there's some second-hand wood market around Beijing, and they have a lot of like second-hand wood panels, which from the demolished domestic houses, and we collect them. We give them a second life. We cut them through thinner panels on site, and we find the different degrees of the color of the recycled wood match with the skin of the trees perfectly. So this is one of my favorite picture of the house. We can see at night, the volume of the treehouse is sort of disappear into the darkness, and the curved out entrance space is light up by the light source from the ceiling, and there's another volume formed in front of you. So it's like at night, the building disappears, but there's something lead you into an unknown world. And of course, accordingly, we design the details to guarantee this effect. So this is not the whole story. We test a new business model called crowdfunding. Basically, it's based on internet financial method. We collect money from from different peoples. And thanks to the popularity of the social platform called WeChat in China, it's basically a combination of Facebook and Instagram. So there's a lot of people in China using this software, and you can do anything. You can share things, you can post, you can even buy things on that. So we post our story on WeChat. We made a video, and we have 6 options of donation, and like you get different degrees of payback. So for example, if you donate like 5,000 RMB, which is like only 600 euro, you can get part of you can share part of the hotel. So in the end, we successfully raised 170,000 RMB, which is quite enough for such a small house. And magazine from Italy, they're quite interested on this new financial method in architecture. So this is the diagram I sent them. We wrote an essay together. So we can see like the different people, they are this in a time order, and they are pinned on the map of China. And it's interesting because most people, they're from the 4 biggest cities in China, which are Beijing, Shanghai, Shenzhen, and Guangzhou. And 2 years ago, they're the 4 most expensive housing price cities in China, which I think is really interesting. And this is a diagram of the construction cycle. We record all the materials, products, and the manpower price. We list the cost of time and the cost of money on different construction stages. It's really interesting. Like for here is our plumbing system. We can see the price is high compared with the short amount of time because it's really cold in the mountain, and which requires a special kind of stainless steel plumbing system, which is expensive. We have to hire a worker all the way into the mountain to install it. Well, the cladding system, we can see the price is relatively small compared with the long-term construction period because they're second-hand woods that are cheap, but we have to recut them on site. And we think this is a successful experiment. And at the same time, we're planning on something bigger. So we find another village, like not far away from the city of Chengdu and on the edge of the Tibetan plateau. It's a beautiful village with a river, with a forest, there's an unfinished wood structure house there. So we rent this piece of land. It's also a site with a really rewarding view. You can enjoy the snow mountain for the whole year. And we think we should deploy the same strategy of treehouse in this forest. So this is the same strategy, which are 7 tree houses connected by the main building, which is we plan to renovate the unfinished structure. And it's the same strategy, but in a larger scale. And we have 2 types of tree house this time. We are using the same geometry language. And we have 2 floors of each house, and we have more rooms inside of it. From the section, it's also the same. The treehouse kind of flowing in the landscape, and the trees and the treehouse, they define the outdoor space together. This time, we have a bigger group. We have some expert in culture branding. We have some expert in hotel management. And we post our story online on the same platform. In the end, we successfully raised like about 2,700,000 RMB, and in 1 month from 351 person. So this is why this project is going on right now. And we work together with the local workmen. We developed the structure as a light steel structure. And we are using a different cladding system. This is the newest picture from the site. And we can see the sequence of the Treehouse Hotel. It's already shown in the site. So in the end, as you can see, all of our treehouses are in such a small scale, but we are trying to think about something bigger than themselves. Through the practice, we are trying to ask 2 questions to ourselves. First, can we redefine the role of architect? Can architect generate the project from beginning instead of merely accepting the commissions? And we think through this project, architects has the opportunity and ability to decide the right way of building in the right place. Also, can we challenge the idea of hotel? If the guests, can the guests be part of the hotel from the beginning? Can they share the ownership of the hotel? Maybe they can even contribute to the construction process. So these are the pictures sent by the visitors after the opening of the Treehouse Hotel. And surprisingly, we find there's a transient community formed around the treehouse. People from different places, they're gathered together here, which generates another level of social activity, which is interaction between people. Therefore, we think in this project, it recalls the very nature of place, which is where you speak to people, you talk to nature, you talk to yourself. And all of these communications can actually happen surround one single physical built form, which I think is exactly the beauty of architecture. Thank you very much. This is my presentation.